News source. This is Channel 8 News Midday.
We begin with growing tensions in the war in Iran. A fresh round of strikes overnight. Israel and Iran bringing the war back to full throttle. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Andrew Ward. Both sides exchanging fire this morning. Even fragments of a missile here seen in the West Bank. The new attacks driving up oil prices this morning, both up over 1% here in the United States. Gas prices, though, are falling. Gas Buddy's latest report out today says the average cost here in Lincoln is down 13 cents a gallon over the last week, now at $4.10. The state average is now below $4 a gallon, while the national average is all the way at $4.09. However, experts at Gas Buddy say future pricing remains murky with these new strikes and the Strait of Hormuz closed. Wall Street is holding steady this morning despite the uneasy future in the Middle East. The Dow Jones sitting at about 50 points up right now as we take a live look here over the stock market. ABC's Karen Travers explains what could be a peace deal on the horizon.
In a significant escalation, Israel and Iran trading attacks, the first since the ceasefire was announced in April. But now both sides indicating a pause. In a statement read on Iranian state TV this morning, Iran's Joint Military Command announcing that operations against Israel are now over. But they warned of a more severe response if Israel were to launch further strikes. An Israeli source tells ABC News Israel is halting its attacks on Iran for now. This after President Trump posting on social media early Monday morning that Israel and Iran are looking to do an immediate ceasefire and claiming that broader negotiations for peace are proceeding. But over the weekend, the two countries traded intense strikes, Iran firing multiple waves of ballistic missiles at northern Israel, saying it was in retaliation after Israel launched strikes against Iranian-backed Hezbollah in the Lebanese capital of Beirut. President Trump in a series of interviews on Sunday sending a message to Israel to hold its fire. But this morning, the Israel Defense Forces saying it conducted a wave of strikes on western and central Iran, including a petrochemical plant. Iran responding to that, a fresh barrage targeting Jerusalem. Israeli air defenses intercepting the missiles. Despite Iran's strikes across the region over the last several weeks, President Trump continues to claim Iran's military is decimated. But the president acknowledging to NBC News, Iran still has missiles.
I would say percentage-wise, maybe 21, 22% of their missiles. It's a lot of missiles.
President Trump continues to insist that the U.S. and Iran are in final stages of negotiations, but he's also sending mixed messages about what it would take for him to restart major military operations against Iran. Over the weekend, he now says his red line is whether a deal is not coming together or not coming together fast enough for him. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Back here at home, we are keeping an eye on the skies over the next several days. It's kind of got at that unstable feel in the air this morning. So take a live look here over our Alec Communications camera. We got muggy and temperatures, darn near 80 degrees already. Let's get to meteorologist Houston All. Houston, what can we expect today?
For sure. I mean, we just had some few severe thunderstorm warnings out towards Lexington, and that was due to some pretty decent hail. And we were talking hail up to lime-size hail, and that's just above golf ball and ping pong ball size hail. Well, you go over here over to Lincoln, upper 70s, lower 80s across southeast Nebraska. The low-level clouds have now lifted. We still have that slight risk off towards southwest Nebraska as we zoom in. There we go. All right, you can see that we had that one storm that just went through Eddyville and Armada. That's now towards Litchfield. Did have some hail within it, but now as you can see as it moved towards the northeast, it has well dissipated. But that is just where you can see, all right, we have a slight risk, and that could be due to an isolated strong to severe storm. That is exactly what we had this morning, but that is now weakened. This is all happening just along a boundary ahead of a cold front. We're going to be seeing some more storm initiation as we go here into 1, 2 p.m. You can see McCook, I would say anywhere near McCook, southwest Nebraska, south of I-80. Could be expecting some large hail and damaging winds as early as about 3 to 4 p.m. We're talking some large hail up to lime-size hail, if not larger. There's your 4 to 5. That's all going to move down towards the southeast. You can see that is just going to be just near Hastings and south of Kearney. It looks to just dive down towards our south. Our very southern counties could see some rain and thunderstorms through this evening into tonight. Upper 70s, lower 80s where that rain is. My goodness, look at that cold front. That's a sharp moisture plume right there. Winds are a little bit gustier out towards the west where they have those storms, 20 to 30. There's Tuesday, there's Wednesday. I'll show you the whole hot and stormy forecast in a few.
We'll talk to you then. Thank you very much, Houston. Happening today, portions of 33rd Street will close. Looking at the road right now, Baldwin to Potter Streets will have a lane closure beginning today for repairs to a pavement. The closure is only supposed to last until Thursday, so if you use 33rd, you'll have to wait around for traffic for a while this week. Happening today, an Iowa murder suspect arrested in Lincoln is due in court. Joseph Bertolino is set to be arraigned today before a judge in Pottawatomie County, Iowa. Bertolino is facing several charges linked to the death of a man in Carter Lake, Iowa in April. He was arrested after allegedly assaulting an officer at a South Lincoln Arby's a few hours later. Authorities say Bertolino also assaulted a Lancaster County corrections officer while in prison here in Nebraska. We'll let you know if anything comes out of today's court appearance later on. Developing now, the search is on for a suspect who used their vehicle to ram into 5 people Sunday morning. This is the area of that terrifying crash. A quiet scene on Sunday before the chaos broke out in the early morning hours when police say a fight led to someone hopping in their car and sending 2 others to the hospital. That vehicle violence playing out in this area. LPD says it happened in a parking lot at 20th and N Streets. Police tell us the driver hit 5 people total, and 2 of them are in the hospital with serious but not life-threatening injuries. The driver also crashing into another vehicle. Police are still looking for the driver. Police say they know the identity of the person responsible, and they're not believed to be a threat to the public. The Lincoln Police Department is asking anyone with information to contact them with their non-emergency number or stay anonymous by reporting to Crime Stoppers. Right now, Thayer County is feeling the heat this summer from way too much water. The dry ground suddenly washed out by intense rains, leaving fields flooded in Thayer County. You can see the standing water behind me. Just yet another blow to farmers that are already having a tough start to the season. Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson spoke to members of the community and explains why this is so hard right now.
There's a lot of scars that still haven't been fixed, and this is definitely exploiting those.
Water washing over the farmland in Thayer County. These pictures taken just south of Shickley showing fields full of floodwater. Aaron Itzen, a farmer near Hebron, tells me the moisture is much needed, but it can cause problems when it's too much rain all at once.
The biggest issue right now that everybody's running into is sheet erosion, I think is what the general term for it is. It's, if you can imagine, say you're at a beach and the tide comes in really heavy. And the tide comes in onto the beach and then it pulls back really fast, how it erodes that top layer of sand off. Imagine that in a row crop setting where a crop is trying to grow.
Just last month, crops were flattened by a hailstorm, and you can see the before and after pictures here. Some people are trying to replant, but now the downpouring rain over the past several days is undoing that progress.
That flooded ground doesn't dry out overnight. So if there is stuff that needs replanted, it will probably be lost for the year.
He says to make the plants flourish, it takes a delicate balance, but there's hope that this will still turn out to be a good season.
I still have a lot of faith that we're going to have a very good crop this year. It's very relieving to know that we have moisture for once. This has been such dry country. I think there's a lot more optimism around here than there was a month ago.
Reporting in Lincoln, Mackenzie Johnson, Channel 8 News.
Thank you very much, Mackenzie. And here next to me is that aerial shot of Hebron back in 2015. Eaton says that this area is dealing with the aftermath of the flooding even today, and he worries that the latest storms will bring back old structural problems with gravel roads and bring bridges in rural Thayer County. New developments now. Nebraska is boasting a solid ranking for overall child well-being, but there's still work left to do. That's according to this year's Kid Count database. Here's a heat map from the nonprofit. The lighter the color, the better the rankings. See, Nebraska, that light orange color, that means they're in the first quartile in the country, ranked 9th for overall child well-being. However, the organization says there is still some hidden issues for our state. We have the second highest drop-off from 2019 compared to 2024 in overall score. Nebraska ranks solid in economic well-being for kids, but it drops off significantly for other categories. Nebraska is 18th for education, 16th for health, and 21st for family and community. Experts say the largest issue Nebraska is facing right now, childcare and housing costs skyrocketing while the amount of good-paying jobs has decreased. New at midday, the Omaha 8 is almost set. 6 teams have punched their tickets to the College World Series. Ole Miss, Texas, Georgia, West Virginia and North Carolina are all headed to Nebraska later this week for the iconic event. 2 more will go for a super regional title later today.
That ball's hit a mile in the air to right. The Rangers have a souvenir and Alabama has a grand slam.
That's Alabama taking a commanding lead on Sunday. The Tide's game against St. John's is suspended until this afternoon. Now, Alabama just needs to win once to advance. The same goes for Oklahoma. The Sooners are leading Kansas right now 8-1 when their game resumes after a weather day today. We'll let you know when the field is set on our Now Local News app. Still ahead this morning, a mayoral proposal expected at City Council, why the budget will be a top priority moving forward. Today, a planned proposal from the mayor. She is expected to present her budget overview at 1:30 this afternoon, just before City Council's weekly meeting. The details are limited as to what actually is on the budget. In the past, she has placed an emphasis on public safety and pay raises for both Lincoln Police and LFR. She's also advanced more money for housing projects. We'll let you know what she is adding to this year's plan tonight at 5. Watching sports may help lift the spirits of older people. And a study in the journal Science found that people who work remotely had more depression, anxiety, and visits to mental health professionals than those who work in jobs that can't be done remotely. Jane King explains in today's Wellness Report.
Remote work has soared in popularity since the pandemic, but a new study suggests the practice has made workers more socially isolated, anxious, and depressed compared to people who work in person, in offices or other settings. The study, published in the journal Science, found people in remote jobs have seen a rise in hours spent alone during the workday and more visits to mental health providers. In self-reports, they also assess their own mental health negatively. Many women struggling with maternal mental health are left untreated, experts say, as a new report grades states on the quality of the care they provide. About 1 in 5 U.S. moms experience maternity-related mental health conditions, like postpartum depression, and most don't get the treatment they need. The Policy Center, in collaboration with George Washington University, didn't give out any A's in its 4th annual report card on maternal health. In fact, the U.S. earned a C grade overall. Well, with the NBA Finals underway, Major League Baseball, and the World Cup starting this week, a new study finds regularly watching sports can help reduce depression among the elderly. The Japanese study found a roughly 30% lower risk of depression among seniors who watch sports regularly compared to those who did not. The key factor of being into sports is the tendency to gather with other like-minded people, be it in a stadium or nursing home, and interact with others through shared emotions and excitement. From the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Well, as we take a look through this some more, it looks to be all right. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning out towards the west, but now there's more on the way and hot temperatures. Show you that here in a few. Thunderstorm warnings. Check it out. Here's a 3-hour loop. Notice the storm. Boom, severe thunderstorm warning, and then it dies as it moves further off towards the east. But this little storm right here did drop some decent hail across just north of Lexington, and then as it moved towards the east, died down. But we did get some reports of about ping pong to golf ball size hail within this storm and the core of that. But now we got a little bit of development out towards North Platte, and that's all along a little bit of a cold front right there. And let me, whenever I show you the dew points, my goodness, is it immaculate. But yes, we're going to have some thunderstorm activity form in southwest Nebraska just ahead of this cold front. You can see North Platte starting to get some thunderstorms right there. The severe weather threat should pick up here in the next 1 to 2 hours. All right, I zoomed in because you'll see why. There you go. There's about 2 to 3, 4 p.m. We're going to start to get some isolated strong to severe storms, really from about North Platte down towards our south, McCook, Oxford, Curtis, all right here. That's going to be some large hail like we saw this morning, lime-size hail or greater within these storms right here. Also some damaging winds and some flooding concerns, all right? So that's going to start 2 p.m. and then go through 3 to 5 p.m. That's going to be where the strong storms will be. Curtis, McCook, Oxford. It's going to stay south of I-80. You can see, okay, Kearney might get a strong storm, but mainly Kearney down towards our south, really south of I-80. Those are going to be those strong storms, some large hail and some damaging winds. You can see the pink, and then down there, a white, oof, large hail. That's right, they're going to be expecting the strongest storms down towards Kansas, really just south of the Nebraska line. And then as we go into this evening, about 8 to 9, 10 p.m., you can see there's the strongest storms right down there. A little bit of heavy rainfall, maybe some quarter-size hail and some gusty winds just south of Hastings. Notice it's staying really south of I-80. Lincoln, we got a small chance for a light rain shower by this time. And then you can see, all right, the further north you go, the lighter rain will begin, but then the severe weather threat should be further down towards our south, really our far southern counties. Could see a little bit of that thunderstorm activity with that quarter-size hail at this point and some gusty winds. That's about 10 to 11. As we go later into midnight to 1 a.m., Beatrice, some thunderstorm activity, the severe weather threat on out of here. South of I-80. All right, for your Tuesday, we're looking at mostly sunny to partly sunny skies. And my oh my, is it going to be a hot one? Upper 90s, heat indices in the triple digits. So eastern Nebraska is going to be very hot tomorrow. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, notice the thunderstorm activity out towards the west tomorrow afternoon and evening. It's very sporadic indeed. We could have a storm there. As it moves towards the east, some thunderstorms will die due to the hot air. You can see, okay, that one just died, that one died. As we go into about 8, 9 p.m., we could see another formation just once the sun goes down. We cool off, and then the temperature and the dew point closer together. So we could see some thunderstorm activity here just south of I-80 near Lincoln, and then off towards Cherry County. That's going to be 8 to 9 p.m. Notice as it moves towards the east, it weakens with time, and then it's just really scattered to isolated showers and thunderstorms into the overnight hours. And then Wednesday, we do have a chance. All right, I zoomed in. Here's through tonight, the rainfall potential. Notice our southern counties here, 1 to 2 to 3, even over 3.5 inches of rainfall through tonight. All right, now let's go through about Tuesday night. Notice, not much. It's very spotty in nature for the rest of us. So our southern counties got a flood. Got to watch out for the flooding tonight. Here's today, Monday, slight risk. Tuesday, slight risk there, and then further off towards the east, marginal risk. And then Wednesday, marginal risk. Right now, it looks further off towards the east. We'll see what they do with it. There's the sunshine, 70 for a dew point, 78 for a temperature. Warmer temperatures out here, 60s off towards the west. And then we're seeing 80 in Omaha. Dew points, my goodness, they're in the low to mid 70s, and that's just the start. Winds are on the calm side. Really not too bad of an afternoon to get out there and enjoy. We'll reach the upper 80s, some lower 90s out there. Precipitation chances, you can see they're really spotty in nature. I would say Lincoln's best chance would be about 6 to 9 p.m. 68 for tonight, partly cloudy and some light rain showers. 96 heat indices in the triple digits. Wednesday, 95. And then as we go into really next week, we do cool down the upper 70s, lower 80s. That's not much like summer.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Houston. Still to come, a monthly dose could be the cure to weight loss. How Pfizer is looking to get into the GLP-1 game and what a new study is revealing. competitor are working on both to develop versions of a monthly dose. ABC's Rita Roy reports.
Promising news for people who are prescribed GLP-1 medication, as pharmaceutical companies are testing GLP-1 injections that would be taken once a month instead of weekly shots or even daily, with recently FDA-approved pills.
These are the next steps in obesity medicine, not just looking for stronger weight loss, but fewer injections.
Pfizer releasing preliminary results as it tests a once-a-month injection called birabenatide.
Studies show an average weight loss of about 12% over 6 months. And in terms of how this was tolerated, patients reported fewer GI side effects.
But that percentage is lower than what patients normally experience with GLP-1s.
What we typically see, 15 to 22% with these types of medications, but you can imagine the convenience that comes with a once-a-month injection.
Another competitor, Amgen, is also working on a once-monthly shot. So how do you know which one to choose?
Many patients are looking for the biggest outcome, right? They're always looking for what is the most weight loss, if that's your goal. What's important to understand here is that you have to pick the medication that you can tolerate, that you can access, and that you can afford, of course, and the medication that you can maintain.
Now, assuming studies continue to look positive, it could be months or even years before a monthly shot could be available via prescription. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Still had security ramping up, how officials are preparing for the president at the NBA Finals, and what's at stake in Game 3.
Trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News Midday.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, we're keeping an eye on several severe weather chances over the next few days. Right now, it's just kind of quiet outside as we take a live look at our ABC Seamless camera at 48th and Cornhusker. It did look a little gloomy earlier, but now sunshine's going. Very, very muggy. It kind of feels like you're swimming outside. Let's get on over to meteorologist Houston All's got an updated forecast here for us. Good morning, Houston.
Good morning. Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. We are humid, we are hot, and that's the definition of partly sunny. Meanwhile, down in Beatrice, a whole lot of sunshine. It's actually shaping up to be a very, very nice afternoon if you'd like to go out and tan, get next to the pool. Here's the look at the severe weather risk for today. We're going to start to see some strong to severe storms here in the next few hours. You can see there's a little cold front moving off towards the east right now, and that has really died down a little bit of that thunderstorm activity. We did have some severe thunderstorm warnings due to some lime-sized hail, but you can see North Platte right now maybe seeing some strong thunderstorms trying to form there, maybe some quarter-sized hail within some of those. As we go really into the next few hours, you can see right there just near McCook and south of North Platte. That's going to be your large hail makers and some damaging winds. Now watch what the track does as we go into about, that's right there, 2 to 3, 4 p.m. as we go into about 5 and 6. That all stays south of I-80, south of Kearney. That's going to have that large hail. And then there could be some expansive hail and maybe even a tornado risk down towards parts of Kansas, really just south of the Nebraska line. That's 6 to 7 p.m. And then as it drifts down towards the south, we're looking at just some rainfall across our southern counties with a little bit of quarter-size hail. But that is going to happen here in the next few hours. Upper 70s where that cold front is, some 60s out there. Notice the dew points, a whole different story where that cold front's moving on through 50s and 70s. Winds are about 15 to 20 out of the north out there. There's Tuesday, and then here's Wednesday. We have some severe weather through about Wednesday. I'll show you the whole forecast, Maine weather.
Talk to you then. Thank you very much, Houston. Right now, a local company is refusing to light fireworks this year during the 4th of July. The Llewellyn Fireworks Company is deciding instead to use that money they are going to use for fireworks. They are going to send those proceeds toward those impacted by wildfires out of respect to the victims of the Morrill fire that blew through west and central Nebraska earlier this year. Now, officials are asking those who donate to the company to instead give their donations to the Blue Creek Volunteer Fire Department so that it can be used to help those still healing from the destruction. New details now on terror across the country, from mass stabbings in New York to shootings in Ohio. ABC's Allison Kozik has the full story on the violence across the country.
This morning, new concern about safety at one of the nation's busiest transit hubs, New York's Penn Station, after 5 people were stabbed in a random attack.
I got near track 1. I saw somebody get stabbed. They screamed. Everybody started running. Everybody.
Police tackling the suspect, who they say is homeless and appeared to be emotionally disturbed.
We turned and we ran, and just trying to get out the station, somebody fell, and I made sure to pick them up because I didn't know if the dude who stabbed, how close he was. So I picked them up, and I didn't want to get trampled because we were all just running just to get out of there.
First responders rushing in to help the injured. All are expected to survive.
Something like this happens, we're terrified because it's about our own safety as well.
Meanwhile, the search for suspects continuing overnight after another brazen crime. Panic and chaos after a mass shooting at this popular festival in Toledo, Ohio, sent people running for their lives. 12 people were wounded.
Everybody trying to find their kids.
The victims as young as 14. Law enforcement nationwide reports there's been a 25% increase in the number of mass shootings so far this year, even as overall violent crime trends downward. So far, no arrests in the Toledo shooting. As for the Penn Station attack, it comes as New York prepares for tonight's NBA Finals game and for the upcoming World Cup festivities. Allison Kozik, ABC News, New York.
Developing now, Nebraska is being mentioned in a race for governor all the way on the East Coast. Democratic candidates all the way in Maine say they are keeping a close eye on Nebraska. And if our state adopts a winner-take-all electoral system, it could follow suit. The state's primary is tomorrow. Now, one of the top Democratic candidates sharing this post on social media saying they must fight fire with fire. Right now, Nebraska and Maine are the only 2 states that split their electoral college votes, which has led to the Blue Dot movement in the Omaha area, which went to President Biden, of course, in the 2024 election. Maine has a similar situation, just flip it around. A small portion of its electoral college points goes to Republicans usually, but the majority of the state is blue. Right now, there are no plans to vote for a winner-take-all system in the Nebraska legislature. New developments now. The York County Sheriff's Office releasing the results of their Make It Click campaign. For the last 2 weeks of May, they had deputies working overtime to make more stops and ensure people are wearing their seatbelts and driving safely. In just 14 days, deputies making 154 traffic stops in total. This leads to 1 DUI and 2 drug influence evaluations. They issued 49 total citations, 26 of those for speeding. Happening tonight, the NBA Finals, and tonight's Game 3. President Trump expected to attend, and now we're hearing exclusively from Knicks superstar Jalen Brunson and his famous dad. ABC's Sophie Flay reports.
It's just hours until tip-off, and law enforcement is tightening security at Madison Square Garden, with President Trump set to attend Game 3 of the Spurs versus the Knicks. No bags will be allowed, and fans are being told to arrive at least 2 hours before tip-off to pass through the TSA-style screening. Trump returning to his hometown to become the first sitting president to attend the NBA Finals. On Friday, thousands of Knicks fans celebrating the team's Game 2 win. Police arresting more than 24 people. One person accused of punching a police officer in the face multiple times.
We will have no tolerance for violence.
Similar scenes unlikely tonight. The watch party planned outside the arena has now been canceled.
Police have the barricades ready to go. They are lined up around the entire arena.
But containing fans will likely be a challenge. Excitement in the city is at a fever pitch, with the Knicks back home leading 2-0. Their first championship in more than 50 years seems within reach.
Obviously, things are different, things are heightened or whatever, but their approach, the mentality, all that has to stay the same, because the moment you kind of step out of routine, step out of something you're not really doing, it's when things change.
Good Morning America sitting down exclusively with Knicks star Jalen Brunson and his father, Rick, an assistant coach with the team and a former Knick himself. Rick describing what it means to watch his son in this moment.
I get so much pride watching them, and hopefully we can get to the mountaintop and celebrate as a family.
They are the NBA's first father-son duo to both play in the NBA Finals. As for ticket prices tonight, they range from $6,000 to $95,000 each. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
And a reminder, tonight's game is at 7:30 right here at Channel 8. Make sure you stick around after our newscast, or for our newscast after the game, for a complete breakdown, plus all your local news. Still to come, screwworm worries, why Texas officials are scrambling to keep the parasite from spreading, what update we can expect today. A second case of screwworm is found in Texas, and we are expecting an update from the USDA later today. And oil prices jumped overnight as Iran fired missiles at Israel. Jane King explains in today's Ag and Energy Report.
Oil is climbing after Iran fired missiles at Israel. This puts the fragile ceasefire at risk. Oil has been up more than $4 a barrel. Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture confirmed a second case in Texas of the New World screwworm, the flesh-eating parasite. The USDA said the food supply remains safe despite the detections. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency said it will temporarily restrict imports of livestock from the affected areas of the U.S. Well, airlines face an extra $100 billion in jet fuel costs this year after the Iran war sent prices spiraling higher. The Financial Times reports the industry group, the International Air Transport Association, says as a result, airline profits will be cut in half this year. And according to the market research firm Mordor Intelligence, nearly 1 trillion gallons of water were consumed by AI data centers last year. That amounts to roughly 264 billion gallons for the year, or the annual water usage of 1.8 million Americans. AI data centers are currently consuming 550 million gallons of water per day. Now, with the drought conditions spreading across large portions of the country, questions are mounting about whether communities can sustain both drinking water and data center water. From the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King with your Ag and Energy Report.
Now, for your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Houston Hall.
We currently have a cold front out towards the west. You know what that's doing to the dew points, the moisture? Oh man, we got 70s out towards the east. Meanwhile, where that cold front is, they have dew points in the 40s and 50s, even far northwest Nebraska, the 20s. I'll show you that here in a few. But this cold front just ahead of this cold front, North Platte, and then down towards our southwest, there is some thunderstorm development. Now, no severe thunderstorm warnings have been associated with this line of thunderstorms. Could start to see some quarter-size hail here in the next few hours, that's for sure. All right, I've got us zoomed in on southwest Nebraska, as this is where all the weather will be happening. Off in eastern Nebraska, mostly sunny to partly sunny skies as we go into this evening. Really on the mostly sunny skies type of vibe. All right, here's this afternoon, about 11 to noon. Let's go into about 2 to 3, 4 p.m. We're going to start to see some isolated storms develop just near McCook, Curtis, just south of North Platte, Oxford. Now, the closer you are to the Nebraska-Kansas border, the better threat for some large hail up to lime size or greater, and some gusty winds up to 65, even 75 miles per hour. When you see this pink right here, that's your large hail. We're talking some lime size or greater there. So that's 3 to 4 p.m. As we go later into the evening, models have been shifting this further south and south as we go into later this evening. So there's 4 to 5 p.m. You can see it starts to get more widespread south of I-80. Curtis, Oxford, McCook, most likely going to be seeing some heavy rainfall, some large hail, some damaging winds. Now notice, all right, we could have a thunderstorm up there towards Kearney as we go into about 6 to 7 p.m. But there's the big severe weather threat. It's going to be staying south of the Nebraska line as we go into this evening. A few isolated thunderstorms on the backside. Cold front most likely will hinder that. But could see a few isolated thunderstorms just north of I-80. But this is where your severe weather threat is going to be, staying really south of the Nebraska line. As we go into tonight, you can see some light rain showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm trying to linger out here, and then also towards North Platte. And then you can see we might get another round, all right? So this is going to be overnight. As we go into a midnight to 2 a.m., this little round of thunderstorms could make its way just right there, scraping southeast Nebraska. So Beatrice, Hebron, and Fairbury could hear some overnight thunder, some lightning, and some rainfall, that's for sure. All right, just went through your whole Tuesday. We're looking at mostly sunny skies. Very hot temperatures will definitely hinder our thunderstorm chances. Notice how isolated and scattered and sporadic it is Tuesday evening, 4 to 6 p.m. Well, you can see some of those will just really die down pretty quickly. Could see a storm down here as we go into about 7 to 8 p.m. Tuesday. And that's going to try to make its way towards the northeast, towards Lincoln, just before sunset. And if it does that, we will have plenty of instability, storm fuel in the atmosphere. It's one of those days where we'll have that extreme storm fuel across southeast Nebraska. Some storms off towards Cherry County. Overnight, we're looking at just really sporadic, scattered and isolated showers, which will continue into the overnight hours. All right, here's tonight's rainfall, all right? I think our southern counties, the further south you are near that Nebraska-Kansas line, do have a better chance for seeing a little bit of flooding hazards. But I would say if you're from Alma and west, that's going to be your best chance to see about 2 to 3 plus inches of rainfall. As we go into your Tuesday night, not much. You can see there's an isolated thunderstorm there, some down here, but really off towards the west and down towards our south is the better chance for some rainfall. No updates to the SPC upgrade for your Monday. Then Tuesday, storms will form off towards the west. A few ahead of that in eastern Nebraska. Wednesday, wouldn't count on it. Right now, beautiful afternoon to get out and enjoy. That's what I'm going to do, get a tan, that's for sure. The winds are on the light side. Why not? 78, dew point of 70. Who can't deal with a little bit of humidity? Upper 70s, lower 80s, 81 down in Beatrice. Ready for this? Boom. Where's the moisture? That's right. Cold front just took it away. 70s and then 50s for dew points. How cool is that? And then the winds are gusty just behind that cold front, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Here in eastern Nebraska, we're looking at the upper 80s, lower 90s. Precipitation chances, I would say, here in Lincoln, about 6 to 9 p.m. We got some light rain tonight, 68 degrees, another mild one. Tuesday, if you have any outdoor plans, make sure to drink plenty of water. Also on Wednesday, we're going to have feel-like temperatures in the triple digits. Look at the overnight low, 74 degrees, my goodness. And then next week, we do cool down into those upper 70s and lower 80s.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Houston. Developing now, the TSA responding to what appears to be a shocking security breach at a major airport. Security experts are now looking for answers, as this is another incident out of several recently reported. ABC's Sophie Flay has the story.
This morning, new questions about how a man made it onto a United Airlines flight, allegedly without a valid ticket.
First point of failure is your checkpoint.
According to a criminal complaint, 25-year-old Abdulrahman Oriyomi was arrested more than 2 weeks after he made it through TSA security and onto a flight in Houston, despite not having a real boarding pass.
I think this is a pretty significant breach, not just because of the fact that he ended up on the plane. It's the multiple layers and failures to even get on the plane.
Police claim Oriyomi used a forged ticket at the security checkpoint May 18th. Agents seemingly breaking protocol and allowing him through, even though his pass allegedly wouldn't scan.
The electronics now that are used by TSA are so sophisticated. So that's one of the big questions here. It's not who failed, it's how the system failed.
Officials claim Oriyomi tried to scan his fake boarding pass at the gate twice before being turned away. But 1 hour later, they say he brazenly walked past the distracted gate agents and boarded a different flight to Los Angeles. He was later allegedly found hiding in the plane's bathroom. Oriyomi, who reportedly had a real reservation that had been canceled, was initially released with a warning. But when officials realized he was using allegedly forged documents, he was charged with a felony. It's just the latest in a string of recent high-profile stowaway stories. Earlier this year, Svetlana Dali flew from Newark to Milan without a ticket, a repeat of a 2024 incident where she made it to Paris without a passport.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Still to come, I'll take the burger with a side of AI. What a new drive-through method is being tested out by a fast food giant right now. Maybe pulling up to McDonald's. The company is trying to make your experience smoother. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has a look at what could be the future of fast food.
Yeah, I'd like to place an order.
This morning, the days of ordering from a real-life person in the drive-thru lane.
Where's your manager? Look, I am the manager.
Could soon be in the rearview mirror, all thanks to AI.
McDonald's is using AI to run their drive-thrus?
McDonald's revealing it's testing Arch IQ, a Google-powered AI ordering system at 5 of its U.S. drive-thru locations.
Welcome back, David.
A McDonald's franchise owner sharing this video of the technology on display last week at the company's worldwide conference.
Can I have the Huntrix meal? Was that with hunter sauce and demon sauce? Yes.
The chatbot, nicknamed Archie, taking orders in English and Spanish. McDonald's CEO saying it's 90% accurate, and writing in a memo, the Golden Arches is launching a new strategy as more of the customer journey becomes automated.
You are literally automating a task that was taken by a person. The stated goal that companies use when they use this is to free up an employee's time to do something else.
Where did the butter come from?
McDonald's shelved a previous test of automated drive-thrus in 2024 after videos of incorrect orders went viral.
9 sweet teas. 9! I did not ask for this.
Taco Bell and Wendy's now also launching their own automated drive-thru systems as fast food companies double down on AI.
You can imagine a future where no orders at McDonald's are actually taken by a human being.
Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News.
Still ahead, furry friends bringing us all together. How this unique duo is capturing the world on this National Best Friends Day. Friends Day. We're hearing about a couple of best friends who just happen to each have 4 legs. Here's ABC's Danny New.
On this National Best Friends Day, we're meeting 2 siblings who have progressed from unreturned love to a shared REM cycle.
Have you gotten used to this yet, or does it melt your heart every time?
Oh, no, it melts my heart every single time.
Paloma here has watched her 8-year-old cat, Celio, and 5-year-old dog, Ollie, win over the hearts of millions online with their relationship's surprising turnaround. About 5 years ago, when Paloma first brought Ollie into their Georgia home, she says Celio was not especially fond of a puppy feeling, "Hi, I love you. You play with me?"
He wanted to come out and be in his house, but he also knew that there was this little annoying potato that would try to play with him anytime that he got out.
Paloma made sure Celio had his own space with this golden torpedo locked on target. But she says in 2023, everything changed when Celio inexplicably became quite sick for about a month and a half. He stopped eating and even needed a feeding tube. And suddenly, Celio didn't seem to mind having Nurse Bear check in on him.
Ollie was just next to him, just kind of making sure that he had an eye on him.
I know he's little, but he's your big brother. You're the little one.
After that experience and his mysterious but miraculous recovery, Celio finally began to return that tenderness and was even ready to hold paws, and also apparently was ready to team up and make sure there was no more room left in Paloma and her husband's bed.
You must sleep incredibly.
Well, we had to upgrade like our bed from a queen to a king.
For the record, Paloma says Celio is a lot more cuddly in the colder months, which most cat owners will tell you makes sense. In the wintertime, Paloma says she finds him snuggling every night. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
And before we go to break, here's a live look outside at our Barry Law Tower camera. Final check of the forecast is next.